Okay, let's move on towards the game then, shall we? It's going to be round 2 of Orsi versus Scars. We're going to be able to see Aha coming out here. The permabans is going to be Gardner and, of course, the Wildling. So, you're going to be able to see these two permaban for now. For Akka, Akka can play both Opera and Ivy. So Akka has quite a lot to ban here. But, of course, from a Scars Survivor side, they need to be careful of the Hermit as well. Seems like from our Akka side, it's going to be double Rescuers banned here. We're gonna ban the two annoying rescuers, Merc and First Officer. This could be Opera, but also at the same time, I think this could be Opera, because if Akka decides to ban all of rescuers, then it's gonna be really hard for survivors to rescue against an opera singer. We're gonna be able to ban the opera here, and then survivors. For survivors pick right, they want to counter Ivy. Who they do? They need a Psycho, and so they need someone who can tank hits, and they need a Seer. They need Psycho and Seer to counter this, well, maybe not Seer, but like Psycho on someone. From the Survivor side, it seems like we're taking forward, and Female Dancer. Okay, so Female Dancer kind of makes sense. Not only one can you slow down the hunter's movements, you can also force them to either break pallets or just to dance away from, the area as fast as possible. For Akka, we did ban Psychologist here, which is followed by an Aeroplanist immediately. But with the Aeroplanist immediate follow-up, for last ban you could consider Antiquarian, but it seems like from Aka's we're going to ban Barmaid. I feel like Anti would work here really well. Anti might not work against Hermit that well, but this is still, Red Church at the end of the day. From a Survivor side, we're going to be able to pick Seer out, with a Seer coming out here. Akka more or less should be looking at Ivy. More or less, we should be looking at Ivy. These four survivors, yes, this guy counters. Yes, this guy counters with a triplet hit, but for Seer, it's more situational of a situation. Lol, it's more situational. For Aeroplanist, Aeroplanist 100% counters. Forward is a question mark, right? Because you cannot harass us forward. It does, like, harassing does not work against Opera Singer, especially balloon harassing. Maybe mid-kite harassing, yes. Balloon harassing, no. Balloon harassing, you can't do anything against an Ivy. You just can't do anything about it. But persona-wise, more or less, we should be looking at Windows Speed Boost a lot, because Flywheel doesn't really work against the likes of Ivy. We talked about it last matchup as well. You need to time fear really, really, really well. Survivors didn't manage to lock in their personas as well. We're going to be able to see Akka here coming out as Opera Singer. Opera Singer, preferably speaking, first chase is either, well, what I would say is, preferably speaking, first chase should be Seer. Female Dancer shouldn't be chased first. It's really hard for Ivy to actually go against a Female Dancer, but it's either going to be Seer or the Aeroplanist first chase here. Because for the forwarding a nutshell can pull so much balls, and with the rugby balls in mind, it just allows for so much containment. Honestly, so much containment. We also have to be careful as well, because if we stack up fears way too fast, it's going to be a bit of an issue. Spawn location wise, we're going to be able to see Female Dancer spawning Shacks here, spawning middle, and of course the Aeroplanist spawned by Red Carpet. It's going to be forward spawning by the left hand side of Church, and then it's going to be Akka here, Ivy, not Opera, I keep saying Opera a lot. For Ivy, Shadow spawning by the corner cipher there near the breakable walls. This is fourth cipher machine, but I guess we can just call it left corner cipher, the left corner cipher. With left corner cipher on mine, we're most likely going to be going for Mona first and foremost. Could potentially speaking bring out Ivy's shadow form, phantom form, to lock forward cipher machine, but also at the same time cipher distribution really matters here, so we're gonna have to see how well cipher distribution goes. Seer could potentially still be first chase as well though, but for Akka right now, either Seer or Aeroplanist would be one of the potentials here. I'm also quite curious on persona wise, because for persona myself in rank, I would more or less prefer Hunt on Ivy. Hunt with max spell breaking, insolence, detention. Teleport really isn't needed, especially with the fact that Insolence recently got a buff. Let's see here, persona wise, we're going to be able to see 4 with Titans here with Windows Speed Boost, and of course Aeroplanist with Titan, and then the Female Dancer with Windows Speed Boost. Aka's going to be able to come out with Instant Detention here, followed up by Blink. This is going to be RC versus Scars. It's currently 1-0 for RC right now. We're going to move on towards the game here immediately. Let's see what Aka decides to do. We're going to change straight, move our main body towards the forward here just a little bit, and then the Phantom's gonna go straight towards Mona. Mona will be leashed here and teleport. If we teleport here, we can at least force out a jetpack. But if we're not, then it seems like we're gonna be looking for C here. That's a very nice 40% fear stack. With a fear stack here on my sword, it's gonna be linked up there immediately. We're gonna be able to get 60 stacks here as well. Very nicely done from Aka's side, and we could potentially just scream here immediately. We generally could potentially here just scream here immediately, but for Seer right now, could have gotten the owl out maybe, but we needed around 80 fear, well not 80, around 85 fear stacks there, but since it's Ivy we're talking about, she could just scream in the face of Seer. Seer kind of rotating towards Shock. We did leech onto his 4 as well, just slow down decoding as much as possible. We do see where Seer is as well, so at least with this on mind for Ivy, main body's a little bit closer towards Seer. We're going to be able to leech on towards Female Dancer here as well. Now then, deleting from Female Dancer, trying to find where Seer is, still sees where the footprint and the blue sticker is. At least that's pretty much good news here for Ivy. Ivy does see Seer rotating towards the back, wanting to go towards the window. We still do have leech. We have leech pretty soon, 40 seconds. Gonna be able to get a scream here. That's another 40 stack. But of course, with the window speed boost here on my, we need to wait for window speed boost to end. That's gonna be 60 stack there on towards the Seer. Just one more scream here in mind is what we need to do. Aka's trying to bait out that owl. We tried to force the owl out. The owl did come out very nicely done by Aka. But it's going to be one scream, one pushback. We're going to have to wait. That's a good miss. Thank God that didn't hit. That hit it. See, would it be able to kite even longer. Aka here, we're going to be able to see a trump card, not trump card, sorry, Instant Detention here, followed by Berserker, alongside with Nostalgia and Impulsive. Okay, that was Impulsive if I'm not wrong, but it seems like... Okay, yeah, it is Impulsive. Impulsive doesn't show on Shadow form, lol. Lol, it doesn't show on Shadow form. Anyways, full forward and Aeroplanus is going to come in to rescue. That's going to be 34 stacks stacked on towards Aeroplanus right there as well, but we could potentially get some stacks on Seer. That's going to be 4 coming in. That's going to be a stun, but it seems like we want to go for Mona here as well. Looking at Mona and looking at Seer at the same time. Going to have to be very careful here. That's 60 stacks on towards our Aeroplanus. Gets down towards Aero. Aero most likely is going to be down a little bit here towards the corner, but with that in mind as well, we're going to be able to teleport over here immediately as well and try and look for the Seer. Seer is somewhere nearby. We do see Seer's footprints. Right now what should happen is we're going to be able to chair the Aeroplanus and then go for the Seer as fast as possible. We're going to be able to see around 3.5 Cypher Machine, 2.5 Cypher Machine progress done, but even with the progress here on mind, forward with a half a ball here remaining on his hands. Seer currently decoding as well. Seer has to decode, because if Seer doesn't decode, it's not going to be that much of a good game here for the Survivor side. But even with that on mind, Aka not flinching at all, going to try to look for the Seer here as fast as we can. We do see where Seer is. We also do see that that's going to be an old damage rescue there on straight towards the Aeroplanus. That's a link, and that's going to be immediate TP over. Immediate TP over here, and of course the immediate scream. That's an insane fast stack and an insane fast Seer down. With 35 seconds on towards the next max presence scream right after teleportation on mine. I need to actually check what the skill name is called. We are going to be able to see forward nearby here as well, followed up by potentially speaking, linking up towards Mona and then getting our Phantom back. Just so we can go for Seer immediate next chase here. So we're going to be linking up. We're going to be taking it back here immediately as well. That's going to be forward. We head towards the chair though, which is a little bit unfortunate there. But it seems like Aeroplanus is still on the Cypher Machine. That's really bad because Aero got 100. We're not going to be teleporting here just yet. There's a slow music box nearby as well. Forward does not have that much ball remaining, but we're going to teleport over here immediately. That's going to be 100 stack on towards Mona. Mona couldn't get rid of the Tombstone there immediately, because if we decide to get rid of the Tombstone, Ivy cannot teleport. But with this in mind, we do have Impulsive ready to go. Impulsive, that's going to be immediate hit down. We need to heal on the Seer. We need to heal the Seer here no matter what happens, and potentially speaking open a new Cypher Machine. But it seems like for Female Dancer here, Female Dancer is going to try rush that 54% Cypher Machine here for as much as she can. But I don't really recommend this. Forward and Seer should be healing here, so even if Seer gets teleported on, Ivy can't get immediate down, especially with the fact that Blink was already used here as well. So this could be the biggest blunder from Scars' Survivor side. That's going to be the immediate teleportation. That's going to be Female Dancer hit there immediately as well. There's currently 3 survivors half health. We're going to get rid of whatever fast music box, whatever music box the Female Dancer deployed down there. But now that no one can rescue, Seer's also nearby as well. We do have our immediate teleportation ready and the extra 40 stacks here once we teleport. But we're looking towards the forward here, who's currently on a 77% Cypher Machine. Forward is going to get the stack open there immediately. We're going to be able to take it back here as well. Female Dancer nearby here as well. 15 seconds or 20 seconds. Tombstone cannot be what again? Cannot be broken. And that's going to be a teleportation over here immediately. That's going to be another fear stack. But Female Dancer rushing towards where Ivy was as well during fear duration. We're going to be able to get that chair down. All what we have to do here is to look for a Seer, because forward Cypher Machine's only at 55%. Ivy's Phantom Mode definitely knows this as well. 61. We could potentially teleport over, but there's really no point. We got the stack on. We're ready to teleport over right now. No, still 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Seer is definitely nearby here somewhere, but Ivy just has to be very careful. We lost Snides here, so we should know where Seer is as well. Seer near the broken Cypher Machine. We're decoding the Cypher Machine, so there's no crow, but that's going to be teleportation over immediately. And then on the scream, Seer goes down here immediately. Seer will be eliminated on the chair. Akka is going to be looking for this 4-man elimination. Next game though, Scars' Hunter is going to be needing that 4-man elimination here as well. We're going to be able to get that drop down here immediately on towards us here. We don't want them to decode, but also at the same time, who cares? All what we need to do here is to leech on towards forward, get the shadow form back, and then leave the shadow form before we teleport over towards the forward. And this is going to be a slow death game for Scars' Survivor side. A really big blunder from Scars' Survivor side. Akka taking this into advantage here. We should be playing against Opera like how we play against Dream, which slow but steady wins the race. You cannot be the hare, you have to be the turtle. The tortoise with a tick shell, forward going down there immediately. And then Seer decoding that Cypher Machine, but this is Forward's first chair. We do see where Seer is as well. Seer with no owl. Seer can't gain owl against an opera singer, but Seer here will get leeched on and will get teleported on immediately, but that's not okay right now. We did get a scream. We're trying to get one more screen here on towards the Seer side. Akka did use both the main body and the leech scream, but with what I am seeing here though, that's going to be Seer charge attack hit. Seer going down here immediately. Let's congratulate Akka here for the 4-man elimination. Moving on to our second half. Akka with a smile upon his face. Okay, let's move on towards second half then. We're going to be able to see Miraike coming out from Scars. It seems like Lachi maybe went to Zeta, but for RC Survivor side, we did, Permaban is going to be this here and the Puppeteer, but then we're going to be banning Priestess and Mercenary here from the Hunter side. Survivor decided to ban Opera Singer, wanting to go after Ivy. For Ivy here, once again, Female Dancer is a huge potential. Psycho is also another huge potential here, because even with Psycho on mine, Psycho isn't too afraid of you at all. There is also the First Officer that does a pretty good job. When leashed, if we teleport over to its First Officer, if First Officer uses his pocket watch, it will automatically deleach. The Phantom will automatically deleach, so that's something that is probably something that, you know, us viewers would love to know. Prospector is going to be the next band here on Mind. For Prospector, you could say Fear and then Pushback, but it's also the same as Wax Artist. You know, if Wax Artist can counter Prospector, then Ivy can also counter Prospector in a sense like this. Going to be able to follow up by a Coordinator here. Coordinator most likely going to be a Windows speed boost, but Coordinator is going to act as a 3-hit character, similar to Psycho here as well. But First Officer is definitely the most guaranteeable TIE Turner player here of it all. One TIE Turner more or less is going to be enough here. For the last ban, we want to be a little bit careful here. They do have 2 fast decoders. We could get rid of Anti-Current here, but Patient isn't a bad ban as well on Red Church when it comes to rescue potential ability. We want to get rid of 2 TIE Turners. But realistically speaking, 2 TIE Turner doesn't matter much against Ivy from my personal opinion. This opinion could 100% change as well. but it's going to be a cheerleader follow-up. Cheerleader follow-up isn't the worst. You can get a bit of a movement speed boost from the double pom-pom, but with the movement speed boost, I guess you are gonna have to see how it goes. We're gonna be able to see the switcheroo up here. Mono P on cheerleader, Rowley on psychologist, Soba on that coordinator, and of course City with the first officer. Survivors, persona wise, it should be a Titaner on the first officer, followed up by Cordy with Windows, and Psycho most likely knee-jerk reflex as well, followed by knee-jerk reflex. We should be looking at more or less 2 knee-jerk reflex, unless we want knee-jerk and tight here on the cheerleader, because coordinators is a very likable first chase against Ivy. You've only one gun anyways, could potentially have a blink, not blink, sorry, could potentially be a excitement. Could potentially be an excitement opera, because for Mirai K here we need a 4K, so for 4K we could potentially go insolence plus trump, and then you follow up with excitement first. I cannot spell excitement first. Can I draw it? Can't draw it. That's like an angel. But Mirai K here decided to choose up opera singer. That's really the only thing we can do now. Right after who has been banned? Oh yeah, Opera Singer has been banned. GK doesn't really perform well on this map. Naya not so much as well. Maybe I would have played Gala, but Gala just got counted by 2-story. But we do have Warp, so Warp is definitely going to be really strong coming in towards these games as well in the future. I don't know what the characters are, but that looks pretty cute. We're going to be moving on straight towards area selection mode as soon as we can here as well. Meanwhile, on the side note here, we're going to be able to see Rowley here on the right hand side, Mono P cheerleader, Shaq, Soba coordinator on the left hand side, and of course first officer here spawning by red carpet. You're going to be able to see Midai K spawning in graveyard just to prevent survivors from spamming as much pallets here as possible, but that will not necessarily, let's say, stop Psycho from rotating back towards graveyard with the amount of windows and pallets available here for use. Going to be able to get the locking here as well. I guess first chase is most likely going to be psychologist, unless we want to go after the first officer, trying to get the leash and then force maybe a pocket watch and then change targets. That could be a potential here, especially for Mirai K as well. One pocket watch less is one less thing to worry about, but they do get a 7% decoding boost. And that decoding boost might be a little bit of an issue, so oh well, we're gonna have to see how this goes. Okay then, we're on area selection mode for quite a bit of time. I'm gonna be speeding up this as well. So let's see here. So we're gonna be able to see a triple window speed boost on the survivor side, except for first officer with that tight turn. Everyone does have borrowed time here, it seems. It could be insolence detention, follow up by a blink here for Ivy. I guess for Ivy, at the end of the day, her endgame is still pretty strong. So in this case scenario, Mirai K might be just forced with that as well. Maybe we could go for excitement build with trump card, but I guess, you know, we want to open up max presence as fast as we can for that instant fear. We're going to be able to get the leash. We're going to get a teleport over here as well. But first officer, a little bit of a bad area here too. We want to make sure. Okay, we got the pocket watch out. That's really good. Then who are we going to change targets for? We do have cheerleading Shaq. We do have the psychologist near Shaq Gate. But of course, Soba near fourth cipher, left corner cipher machine. Gonna be able to see Rowley, that's gonna be a leech on there, immediately stopping them from decoding, and seems like the main target here is gonna be Cheerleader. We're not gonna teleport over here as well, still trying to look for the coordinator, but it seems like survivors realize this as well. Soba currently on the high. We're trying to see where Soba is as well. Gonna look towards the left, towards the right. Mirai K did manage to see here. Mirai K did manage to see? Question mark? We did manage to see. Okay, coordinator currently on the run, wanting to go straight towards graveyard to utilize those pallets as much as possible. City also does have to try rotate away as well as soon as we can here as well. That's gonna be the first scream out my name, as Ivy said. Leech. Okay, Windows Speed Boost. We need to wait for Windows Speed Boost to end first before we leech. We need to wait. I don't think we waited enough. We need to wait for at least one more second here. So for Cordy right now, even if you did manage to get a scream, it doesn't matter. All what Cordy has to do is walk in a straight line and then gun whenever she feels like gunning, because in this case scenario, okay, never mind, Cordy did manage to get the scream, but the scream is a little bit too early from Milaike side as well. That's a huge mistake here made from Ivy. Ivy tried to play a little bit of a red light mind trick here. We're going to be blinking open the first hit, but if you blink open the first hit, that might not be the best case scenario for you at all, because Survivors is, it's 3 Cypher Machines done 100 seconds in towards the game from Survivor side. Milaike here made quite a bit of a mistake. We didn't get a scream stack on towards Coordinator here, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're still trying to leech on towards Coordinator, but that doesn't matter. Coordinator does have no items remaining, but I guess the good news is, we didn't get the scream here once again. We did get the leech on here though, but it's around 3.5 Cypher Machine by the time Cordy is going down, and you have that cycle for the global heal whenever you need to. So if you really do change targets, you can just have Psycho heal for this year, and then, well, Psycho for seal for whoever is down on the ground. So Psychologist is a must ban, or even don't play Ivy against Psycho. It's not really worth your time unless you want her to become first chase here. But it seems like First Officer can definitely come in towards the rescue here. Once again, we want to maybe try force First Officer to do this rescue. But leeching on towards Psycho here as well. Cordy just got down, so her leech cooldown is pretty low. Well, it's pretty high. Not low, low as in like, oh yeah, it takes a long time to get it, but then like it should be high. My English is meh. Anyways, we're going to be able to get that before half rescue. Going to be able to teleport over here immediately as well, get straight on straight towards Psycho, but this does not matter, does it? Well, we still do have Nostalgic, so we do know where Coordinator is at least. Should be able to leech on towards Coordinator here as well. I guess Nostalgic is pretty OP on Ivy after all. That's not a leech just yet. We need to wait for 18 seconds, so we want to stop the Cheerleader here from decoding. But Cheerleader, even though with that in mind, we're trying to play as much red light trick as possible, but it doesn't seem like we played that one correctly as well. Cheerleader pom-pomming away. She only used one. Definitely does have another one here for usage as well. We want to break that pallet first and then teleport over here potentially, but it seems like we're going to be able to get a double stack. Did we get a double stack? We didn't. That's a little bit unfortunate here from... That's really unfortunate from Milaike's side, but Coordinator will still go down here anyway because she doesn't really have that much area to contain with. No impulse up though, still a charge attack hit should register. Hey, never mind, it didn't register, but it's a little bit hard here for Coordinator to rescue anyways. Let's see here, one Cypher Machine is primed, the other Cypher Machine at 81%. Seems like it's going to be the Cheerleader who's going to be popping the Cypher Machine here, and First Officer still maintaining maxed health. With First Officer here on max health, so we could have a double pop situation, but it seems like it's going to be Cheerleader. Cheerleader's not going to pop. Cheerleader's going to pop hers first. And the moment we leech on towards Rowley here, we should be able to pop open the Cypher Machine first and foremost. We're just going to wait around here just for a little bit of time. We do have Blink. We're going to get the... We don't need to leech her just yet. We need to blink down the Coordinator, but... It's a 4-man endgame and you need a 4-man elimination, even for an Ivy, even for the Shadow. It's a little bit too hard. We do see where Coordinator is. The blink needs to come out here immediately. We get the blink down on towards Coordinator here. Can we leech on towards someone? We do see Rowley and Monopi on the other side of the map right now, both a Psychologist and a Cheerleader. But you see... It's going to be the First Officer on red carpet gate. As long as we guarantee a 1-man escape, that's all what's necessary here. First Officer opened the gate, actually. That was pretty fast. And seems like right now we did leech on towards Rowley there, but we can't leech on for another 40 seconds. There is a Cheerleader nearby, but that Cheerleader doesn't matter. That's a double palm on Cheerleader who can rush towards the gate here immediately, even if you do get a teleportation on towards the Cheerleader. Cheerleader shouldn't be your main priority here, Milaike. You need a tie game here. I know you're panicking. I do know you're panicking. I can understand, but you need a tie game. If you can't get 4K, at least get a tie. Don't let him get a 3 escape from you at all. For Rowley here, it's still around maybe 10 seconds until we can leech here once again. I'm going to play around the pallet area here as well. And with the pallet area here in mind, for Milaike, we're playing. There's going to be the Psycho, and Psycho goes down here immediately. But it's a tie game, which is not up. Let's congratulate Orsi for winning against Scars.